Hey Warriors, this is Coach Wilson, and today I'm going to go over Galileo, how to use it, and how it can help you in all of your assignments. So to get to Galileo, you're going to first want to go to our Warrior Center webpage. You can access that through the Oconee County High School webpage. Go to Resources and click on Media Center. Once you've gotten to our webpage, you're going to want to go to Student Resources, and that's going to bring you to this page where you can access Galileo, JSTOR, ArtStore, as well as Destiny. And we'll cover all of these at another day. But first today, we're going to go through Galileo. So make sure you click the link, and that's going to bring you to Galileo's main page. Now, if you are on campus, it should automatically log you in. If you're not on campus, it will request a login. There is a password that goes with it. You can contact me, and I will be able to give you the password. But since we're on campus, we're already logged in. Once we are logged into Galileo, we're going to search much like we would on Google. Galileo is kind of like Google, especially or just for your classes. This is where you're going to find reliable information that covers any number of topics and has any number of resources. So today, let's say that we are researching World War II. We're going to type that in and hit search, and let's see how many topics it brings up today for us. It's going to take a little bit for it to generate, and we see that we have over 2.5 million resources on World War II. All right, so that's a lot to jump through. But what we want to do is narrow that down just a little bit, and we have a lot of different ways that we can do that. The first are we can limit it to full text, a scholarly or peer-reviewed journal, or we can limit it to a Georgia Digital Collections. You're going to want to go to full text. Make sure you check that. That's going to help you a lot. And then a lot of you are also going to want to check scholarly or peer-reviewed journal as well. So let's see how much that narrows us down to. Once the website has got done filtering, we see that that takes us down to just over 500,000 resources. So we have eliminated a good chunk of resources that no longer apply to us. Okay, the next thing that we can search by or eliminate some results by is the publication date. Okay, World War II started in 1939 and America joined after the bombing of Pearl Harbor in 1941. So any kind of resource prior to that is probably not going to be very reliable. So we're going to limit this, okay, to the post-war years. All right, so we're going to go 1946 to 2020. So we're looking for something here that was published after the war, looking back on it. All right, we can also limit by type, whether it be an academic journal, a review, magazine, biography, some sort of report. We can click more, and we do have more options: books, reports, conference materials, biographies. All of these are great types of resources for you to be able to dive into. But today we're going to take a look at academic journals. We're going to hit update, and that's going to limit us down to just over 300,000, really 350,000 results. So we are slowly whittling away our different types. We can also limit it by the type of journal that we're looking for, whether it's American History Review, American Journal of Public Health, so on and so forth. And then we can also limit it by the different types of subjects. So within World War II, are we looking at the history of it, the international relations, how it plays out in the 20th century? For us, we're going to look at the effects on the United States. So this is going to get us down to just under 7,000. So we have whittled our resources and our search results down from over 2 million to now under 7,000. And that's still a lot of resources to look through, but it is a much narrower field. So let's take, for instance, that we wanted to look at this first article, Armed Conflict at the Threshold. So we're going to investigate this and see, does this pertain to us? Well, the great thing about Galileo is I don't have to read the full article to know whether or not this is going to be useful to me, because on the opening page, it's going to give me an abstract. An abstract is like an introduction to the paper. It's an overview or a summary that's going to give you a basic idea of what that article is about. And this is a really big deal because when we're looking through a lot of different resources, we want to be able to narrow them down as quickly as possible. It's also going to give me all the information I need in order to cite this when it comes time to work on my Works Cited page. And I'm going to show you how Galileo helps with that as well. But we can go ahead and click on PDF full text, and this is going to pull up the entire article that we're looking at. And we can see that this is 35 pages. It's available to where I can download it or print it. And then over here to the left, it has different chapters of this book, all right, or of this journal. So I can look at different chapters, all right, whether it's the armed conflict, okay, whether it's local issues, fossil fuel issues, so on and so forth, okay. But this is going to allow me to scroll through this essay, all right. It's got a table of contents, and it's going to let me read all throughout. And I can save this. I can download it as a PDF. I can print it out if I want to. It's a lot of paper, so be careful, okay? But this gives me the entire depth of the article that I can go through and search. Okay, going back and looking at this, if I determine that this is something that I do want to keep, okay, that this is going to be useful for me in my research, I'm going to work over here to the right-hand side. Okay, I can add this article to my Google Drive. My suggestion is when you're starting a project and you know you're going to have a lot of resources, create a folder in your Google Drive for that specific project. So that way you can save every article to your drive. Also, make sure to email this to yourself. That way you always have a record of where you found it. Okay, because remember, we started with over 2 million, nearly 3 million results, and now we've limited it down to 7,000. If you're going to try to remember all the clicks and everything else that it took for you to eliminate all these things and find this one particular article, it's going to be like finding a needle in a haystack. So always make sure to use Google Drive. Make sure to email it to yourself. And here's also where Galileo plays a major role, is in your citations. It will cite the paper for you, okay? And it gives you many, many different options. AMA, APA, you'll probably use those more when you get to college, along with Chicago and Turabian. Most people will use MLA format in high school, and it provides the MLA format. Now, here's my word of advice. Do not take Galileo to be 100% correct on its citations every time. Don't take any site for that. Always cross-check your citations. My advice is to use Purdue OWL. It's a website maintained by Purdue University, and it keeps up to date with the latest MLA formatting. You wouldn't think that formatting changes for citations all that often, but it does pretty frequently. So make sure that you always cross-check against Purdue OWL to make sure that it's the most up-to-date citation form. Don't lose points on a paper or a project because your citations are wrong. It's too easy of points to give up. So there you have it. There's Galileo in a nutshell. It's a great way to find great peer-reviewed resources, and also a way to make sure that you're on the right track with what you're looking for. It's easy to organize, it's easy to cite, and it's easy to find. If you have any questions, make sure to stop by the Media Center or email me, and I'll be more than happy to help you out.